political aisle, you hear trad being talked about all the time. You know, conservatives love trad everything. I love trad.
I just got done doing an interview deep diving the entire trad wife movement. Because although I love the aesthetic and I am a stay-at-home mom, I do not believe a woman's place is in service to her man or her household. The reason why trad wives and so-called like traditional women can be so dangerous is because they believe it is not just their place to be in service to their husbands and their homes. It is women's place to be in service to their husband and their homes.
What?
You know, why shouldn't she be promoting the lifestyle that is making her happy instead of condemning it because it's not in a fashionable political lane, which is really what she's doing. She's saying, oh, I don't want to be associated with the alt-right, so I'm not going to tell you that I'm actually really happy being a stay-at-home mom. And you can look at her, and she's well put together, and she doesn't look like a crazy leftist. They're so afraid of being thought in any way conservative that they will not preach what they practice. And not preaching what they practice is a really good way to bar people from having the happiness that you have.
And there we have it, gentlemen, the modern Western woman's conundrum, the eternal misguided fight against what society is dictating on TikTok versus natural happiness. Welcome to another episode, the death of the modern nuclear family in the West and the rise of passport bros. Let's take a look at the modern Western women's current view of traditionalism.
Hi everyone, so I want to talk about this whole trad wife thing. So it's like this thing where these girls dress up. Obviously, I'm not one. I like to live authentically me. I don't like to get up, get ready, have to perform every day for someone. And I think that it can be extremely toxic. And I'll tell you why. So this whole trad wife thing of getting ready for your husband, being the Betty homemaker, being submissive to your husband and everything, I want to tell you that that is actually coercive control. So it's coercive control in a way that if you're being submissive to your husband, you're obeying by your husband, and you're doing whatever he says, you have to get up, put on a face every day to be who you are. I don't think that that is okay. I think that is highly toxic. And it shows some of the signs of trauma bonding. And if you don't know what trauma bonding is, you guys should go look up the 7 stages of trauma bonding. Because if something I'm saying is triggering to you today, you might want to lean more into it and wonder why it's triggering. So I think that if you want to be a stay-at-home wife, you want to cook, clean, do all of that, I support you in that because that's what you want to do. If this is what your husband wants you to do, that's not okay. If it gets to the point where everything is controlled by him, that's not okay. Look up coercive control. If something triggered you in this video, I support women that want to stay home, raise kids. That's really great. I wish I had the financial means to do that. But if you are going into this trad wife, being submissive, putting on a look, putting on a face for yourself every single day, look more into it and look into trauma bonding.
Just listen to the amount of nonsense talk, all designed to sound oppressed. It's like a mind virus. Gentlemen and ladies, too, it is not that complicated. Running a household can be done by one person or two. Just work together and find your way as a team. Yet modern women in the West seem to want a modern man to take on full responsibility for everything, while claiming just how independent they are. Why?
Apparently, it's very frightening for a lot of people. Last year, Grazia magazine wrote this and said, TikTok trad wives are romanticizing an era where sexism and racism ruled.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937.
Here we go again.
That is
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
It's a feminism.
She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Gentlemen, it's everywhere in Western media. Before we take a look at some more examples, let's remind ourselves of what a traditional wife and husband team really mean.
How to become a traditional wife. Number 1, embracing ultra-traditional gender roles into your marriage. The man, he is the provider, the main breadwinner. He goes out of the house and works. The woman, the wife, she is the homemaker. She takes care of the home. She takes care of herself, and she does the cooking and the cleaning. Number 2, and I cannot stress this enough, you have to marry the right man. If you marry a guy who in your dating life, he showed abusive and control tendencies, this is a disaster waiting to happen, because when you become financially dependent on this man, he will abuse all of that. So make sure that you take your dating life very seriously. If you are not dating to eventually marry that person, you're wasting your time.
And there we go. Simple and reasonable advice that works. Yet many modern women have just become too overly entitled.
I just think that if I was part of a movement that had a lot of crossover with fascists and neo-Nazis and Nazi culture, I would probably make sure that my propaganda for my lifestyle did not emulate the 1920s and 30s. Do you know what I mean? Just how I do stuff, though,
Seriously, what is this woman talking about? Let's look at some more demands of the modern Western feminist.
Does he have to make as much as you or more?
I would prefer someone that makes more, because I like to be wined and dined, treated like a princess. I don't drink actually,
Treated
but
like a princess.
I like being treated like a princess. I want to make my own money, but I want you to be able to take me out.
Wait, so you're a princess and you've never...
So I have to make enough money to spoil myself and my dog. And then, that's number 1, right? And then bills and etc.
You're a princess.
Yeah, but I like hustling too. I love working.
Have you ever paid for a guy on a date?
I don't mind spending money on people, but I will friend zone them because I want my man to take care of me.
You want a traditional man in a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be fair to say you're a traditional woman? I can answer
For the
that.
most part, yes.
Okay, but would a traditional woman have her body half naked on Instagram?
See, that's where I
Okay, but hear me
differ.
out. You're exposing yourself in a sexual way.
Right.
You're condoning that.
I think it's based on the partnership. I think your partner would have to really be
Okay, but
comfortable
you
with
want
your
a
line of
traditional
work.
man. You want a traditional man, but see, this is the problem with a lot of modern day women. They don't want to be a traditional woman. Okay, so if you were with a man, the love of your life, and he was the perfect guy that you created, and that's the guy who says, Christina, you're in love with me, you do anything for yep, I'll do anything for you, you do anything for me. I want you to close your Instagram account. Would you do it?
If I didn't have to rely on Instagram for work, and this was the perfect scenario where I knew this was my husband, I would not take away what makes me Christina.
But then you're not being traditional.
American women are more entitled.
I know I'm a prize. And so I think that a man should value me for what I am.
We don't recognize our own privilege.
So if the woman is the prize, what would that make the man?
The wallet.
The wallet.
We take our privileges for granted and shit like that.
Am I getting paid? Are you paying my rent? No! What? Do I need to call you a fucking nanny? Boy, bye.
We are just naturally family-oriented people, that's all. And you can't deny the fact, here in the United States, it's not like that anymore.
What it really is we are in the dawn of the time when women can be just as advantageous and successful as men have historically been allowed to be.
I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but we don't chase men! We chase the bag! We don't need honeys, we need money.
And there we go, gentlemen, entitled, lazy, crass, and far from peaceful. Something has convinced these ladies that screaming and shouting is going to attract a healthy modern man. Is it any wonder that we now have the rise of the passport bros going abroad, where good values such as kindness, mutual care, and respect are still appreciated and reciprocated? Let's take a look at some of the demands of these ladies abroad in comparison to these modern Western feminists.
Do you think all foreigners are rich?
I think they're rich, but not rich by the money, rich in their hearts.
I wish that you guys could see it's really not that complicated with American women. We're just asking to be met halfway as far as respect.
Men are stupid and I don't respect them.
That same respect that you are hoping you get.
I had never felt like a king or got true king treatment until I went out of this country.
Facts.
Type of foreigners that you like?
Well, those people who, has an aura that they're approachable and you can sense that they're not, rude.
Okay.
Those type of foreigners, yeah.
Okay, so you guys have to have an approachable aura. Okay. Thank you so much, Miguel.
A lot of these passport bros are exploiting a power imbalance economically.
Y'all are taking advantage of these women. Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education.
You got a whole bunch of girls that would like to get a decent partner, and you got a pension, and you're a nice guy, and you don't drink, and you don't smoke, and you just like to do nice things. It's easy to find girls.
Okay, so you guys have to have an approachable aura. Okay. Thank you so much, Miguel.
It quickly becomes plainly obvious why more and more men are turning to passport bros options today, given the headaches that seem to come with dating modern women in the West. But still, instead of living in the feminine energy, these modern ladies make excuse after excuse after excuse.
Men want a woman who they can control 100%, or as close to it as they can.
Ramblings, attempting to excuse the modern woman from any accountability for anything they do, while also holding modern men up to double standards in every way. Men are expected to have ever increasingly demanding roles, while every common girl thinks she is the princess of the world. Men are not being fooled anymore. Given divorce laws and the high probability of divorce, followed by losing half of a lifetime's savings, these headaches just aren't alluring anymore to the modern Western man.
And that's where I think the word submissive sort of gets lost in translation, because I've been traveling the world as a single guy for 3 years, and that's not the way it works that's not the way it works. You show them a lot of respect, and then they just start doing things for you and showing you respect back. So it's definitely give first and then receive, but sometimes it feels like 10x of what you're used to be honest.
They're just happy to be rescued from their poverty-stricken life of no opportunity.
These Western women, with all their demands, are using any excuse to shame modern men into not being happy. But let's hear from people who are actually living the lifestyle.
So do you think Filipinos are gold diggers?
No, I don't. I think most of the Filipino people are real honest, nice people. Okay. I've been here 9 years, and I've never been robbed, I've never been accosted, never been scammed.
And there we have it, gentlemen. Nobody is trying to take advantage of each other with the passport bros lifestyle. In places outside the West, men and women are still living beautiful and mutually reciprocal lives and sharing the joys of life together. Men have had enough of Western women acting like princesses or queens, trying to use men for their money while offering absolutely nothing but headaches and complaints in return. These modern women are beginning to get bitter. It really is getting out of hand. There really is no logic to the modern Western woman's demands. They want a man who makes more money than they do, and at the same time, they shame men for dating women who aren't as affluent as they are.
Well, here's the thing, though. If women are constantly saying they want a man who makes more money than them, and men have heard that, why would these men who make good money, why wouldn't they go find a woman who makes less money than them? Wouldn't that then be better for them then? Right? If that's what women are constantly saying, even American women, even women who make $100,000 a year, they still want a man who makes more money than them. And you make plenty of money to be independent and all this nonsense. Why do you want a man who makes more money than you then? That doesn't make sense. If that's the case, why would I not just go to a woman who makes way less than me? Wouldn't that make more sense then? It's like, okay, if a man makes $1 million a year and a woman makes $500,000 a year, why would that man who makes $1 million a year go with the woman who makes $500,000 a year when he can go with the woman who makes $30,000 a year? That's a much larger discrepancy, and it would probably lean into, the benefit for the man.
Gentlemen, remember to stay strong and live with purpose. Now I'll leave you with a funny clip just to help you smile while we witness the train wreck that modern Western society has become.
Next one's a new one for me. A woman claims that high winds blew cocaine into her purse. Kanisha Posey was in a car during a traffic stop in Fort Pierce in late March. During a search, the officer found bags of cocaine and marijuana in Posey's purse. Now, she told police that it was windy and the wind probably blew the bags through a car window and into her purse. She is charged right now with felony drug possession.
Just like a woman.
Lord, give me a sign.